Okay, if we come to the end of our mat, okay? So just roll the shoulders back. Okay, make sure microphones are on mute, otherwise I get you guys come onto my main screen. Okay, knees are soft, roll the shoulders back. And again, shoulders back. And shrug them forward, so really round out, open out the shoulders, almost into a hunch position. One more. Okay, I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see with my head. Sorry, it's not very good lighting in here. Just turn the chin towards my shoulder. And then slowly back through the middle. Opposite side. And take it all the way through back to the opposite shoulder. One more. Chin down to the chest. And all the way up to the ceiling. Again, chin down to chest. All the way up to ceiling. Okay, take a nice deep breath down. And reach up nice and high. Hold it there. Allow the hands to float down. Again, go down. Hold it nice and high. Allow the hands to float down. We're going to do 2 more of those, nice and deep. Down. Big stretch. Hands float back down. One more. And hands floating down. Okay. Make sure your feet are turned forwards. And toes are forward. We're going to go down into a very low squat. So I want you to sit all the way down and have your hands just in the middle. So we're just opening out the hip area and we're just going to gently pulse through, pushing down, okay? So this is one of our Pilates moves, okay? Pressing through the heels, but we're looking to open and warm the hips, okay? So you'll feel a little bit of warmth on that hip area, okay? Keep pulsing, moving. Don't allow the bottom to come up. Place the hands down and then press the hips up and roll all the way back up again. Roll the shoulders back. So the same again. So what you're trying to do is toes are forward, quite narrow. So that's why I've got my kind of hands here. And we're just going to slowly sink down into this position. So you're almost leaning forward slightly, hands in the middle, and we're just going to press the heels down. So opening out the hip, keeping that chin lifted, okay, and it's just working through the hip area. Allow the hands to drop down, press up, and curl. Okay, roll the shoulders back. So we're going to go down, take a nice deep breath. Reach up nice and high, allow the hands to float down, and again, down. On these 2, we're going to lift up onto the ball of the foot. So we're going to go down, and we're going to lift up, and lower down slowly, and again, down, lift up onto the ball of the foot, big stretch through the calves, and down. Give me 2 more. All the way through the arch of the foot, to the ceiling, and down, 1 more. Raise up, and lower down. Excellent job. So we should feel a little bit warm now. So, I'm going to go to the end of our mat. We're just going to work through some of our kind of good moves that we know well. We're going to press down into chair. So press through, lift the chin. And we'll just come back up again. And again, press through into chair. Heels, chest lifted, sitting all the way down. Really reach those hands up. Float the hands forward. Press my hips up into forward fold. Allow my head to hang. Take behind, give your knees a big hug, pull that chest in. into that ragdoll position. Allow the hands to drop and then fold all the way back up again. Okay, we're going to go into tree now because we're standing. We're just going to slide that leg up into a position that you feel comfy, working. Open out the hip and press. Just hold that position, nice and tall. Oh, it's a good morning for me. I'm balancing well. Hold it there, allow it to come down. Let's change sides. So make sure the foot's nice and planted, working on that core, sliding up. So get that foot in the position that you feel comfortable. Some of you might have to have it lower down. Okay, so you find the point at which you're happy. Keep the hip open and holding there. Pulling up nice and tall, chest lifted. It's a good morning for me, this balance. And lower it down. Excellent job. Okay, we're going to go into our, I call it a folded chair. So, foot up, and we're going to press down. So, sitting nice and low, so we get into the butt, the glute. Both knees are bent. Chest is lifted, so we're working on that core, working on that supporting leg, knee strength, ankle strength, and pressing up. So if I turn to the side, I'm hooking and folding my chair and I'm opening out. So I'm trying to get quite low, but keeping my chest lifted, just holding the position. And slowly come back up again. Excellent job. Take the feet to about hip width apart, just forward fold over. Allow the hands to slide down onto the mat. And we're just going to slowly walk them forward. We're going to go out into our full plank position. So hips are level, back's nice and flat. Core is nice and tight. Just holding that position there. And then we're just going to press the hips up into downward dog. And we're going to walk the hands back up again. So just warming up the shoulders slightly. Just getting nice and mobile. Open out the chest again. Folding forwards. So dropping that head down. You can bend the knees if you want to. But you're just trying to each time lengthen the stretch. Walk the hands out. Nice and long. All the way to the end. Keep those hips up. Hold that really strong plank position. So my head is nice and loose. Okay, from here I'm going to press up into downward dog. So lift those hips up onto the balls of my feet and allow my head just to drop between my hands. So I'm just going to press the ankle down, nice and slowly, walking the dog. My weight is evenly placed through my hands, my hips are nice and high. Just pressing up, keeping my core nice and tight. Couple more. Hold it here onto the ball of that foot. And slowly we're going to come all the way through into upward facing dog. So I'm going to allow my hips to come all the way down. And then I'm bending, pointing. So my stomach and my hips are off the ground. My arms are straight. And we're in that upward facing dog position, okay? So core is nice and tight. Now, depending on how flexible you are, some of you, your hips will be lower, and as we go through this, you will get more strength and flexibility in that lower back. Okay, from here, we're going to press all the way back into child's pose. So press the hips through, back, and go nice and long. Forehead down to the mat. Reaching out, pressing, opening out those hips again. We're going to go all the way through into upward facing dog. So rise up, bringing my hips and then allowing them to fall, my arms are straight. Just holding the position. So being strong and making sure the move's nice and clean. So tuck the toes under, and then you're going to lift up into a plank. So bring those hips up. And then from here, we're going to press the hips up into that downward facing dog. We're going to take it into a three-legged dog. You choose the side, press that heel up to the ceiling. Be as long and strong as you can. Just hold that position. And we're going to slowly lower this down and go onto the other leg. So three-legged dog on the other side. Press that heel up. Bring that core nice and tight. So we're recapping a lot of our favorite moves. And lower it down. Okay, and then from here, you're going to walk all the way back up into our forward fold, into that ragdoll position. So just allow the head, thumb nice and high, folding everything over. And then slowly come up to standing. Excellent, right. Let's go back to the middle of our mat. So we're going to go back to these hip openers. So we're a little bit more of a Pilates style move now. The same with the ones that we did at the beginning. So toes are forward and we're looking to sink nice and low. So go nice and low and bring the hands through the middle. If you want to, you can just press in. And we're just going to press the heels down and working on opening the hips. So being nice and loose, hip flexors, inner thigh, but all really important in swimming, okay? Trying to be nice and ready and loose so that we're able to kick from the hip. Okay, and you should feel a little bit of heat, a bit of burning in that leg now. Press the hands down and then just lift those hips up, drop the head and come all the way up. Okay, so from here we're going to go nice and low again. So we're going to sit down, bring in both hands on the floor. I want you to take one leg out to the side. Okay, and I'm going to get you to alter both of them. So you're going to sit really low. So this is a side hold. Okay, you're going to place this hand on the ground and then we're just going to turn and open. So you're a little bit lower than normal. Just hold that. Then I want you to go really low down, so you're really pressing on that hip flexor on the bent leg. Turn it round. And then lower it down again. So try, my aim by the end of this is to try and get my elbow onto the ground. But at the moment, still a little bit tight. Just warming things through. Final one, so I'm going to press here. So bring my hand down, I'm going to drop my knee so it goes fully onto the floor. Now we've done this one before. It's where we rock back and we sit on the heel and then we come forward. So again, we're looking to open out the hip, press back and come forward. So my weight is over my hands, pressing my hips back and then opening out. So working that hip flexor, but also working the inner thigh. Hold it there. Then we're going to bring the leg down and round to the ground. So let's go into our bound ankle. So feet together. We're going to walk in. Find those seat bones and you're just going to hold on. So I want your upper body nice and tall, elbows are loose. And all I want you to do is just press out those knees. Imagine you've got two weights on them and they're just pressing down to the floor. Just hold that position. Now, if we can, I want you to fold your arms and I want you to try and get those arms over the top of your toes. So pressing out the knees and just trying to have the arms crossed. So we're rounding out the back, so we're stretching out through the back as well. We're really looking to curve over the top. And let's come back up again. So this is my really tight side. You can see it wants to push up, so I'm trying to open it out. And then from here, my arms are crossed and I'm reaching out and over my toes. big press, and I'm trying to hold those knees out. So this is more hip mobility, okay? So coming up, we'll do one more over the top. So opening out inner thigh into that hip area. So bring the knees back round into a kneeling position, and we're going to come back up again. So go nice and wide, toes are forward, and we're going to sit back down into that little pulsing position. So we're pressing through. So this would be a high early man, okay? But it's really, really focusing on the hips. So you're just looking to drop down, keeping that chest lifted, core nice and tight. And you'll feel the fire just in those thighs. So make sure you're pressing through the heels. Place the hands down, push the hips up, and all the way to standing, just so that we can release out, because you'll feel it in this area here. So forwards, and we're going to bend. And then this time, we're going to take the other leg out. So take it nice and wide. So I'm going to move this leg, and I'm looking to press through my hips. So my inner thigh and my hip is engaged. Hand stays on the floor, and I'm going to turn and open. And then I'm going to press my elbow through the middle. And I'm going to open out. And I'm going to press through the middle. And again. Last one. I'm going to walk the hands into the middle, and then I'm going to fold my leg in, keep the leg nice and wide, hands in front. I'm going to sit back and forward. So just pressing through the hip, my hands across the front. So I'm opening out that hip, working on the inner thigh. So this is just a rock backwards and forwards. Nice and gently, and each time, just looking to try and lengthen the muscle. Excellent job. Okay, and just sitting to the side, bringing it back round. So we're going to go back round into that bound ankle position. So again, looking to open out. So this morning, we're trying to get those hips nice and ready. At the moment, we're sitting a lot of the time during the day, kind of hunched over the computer. So we're trying to get those hip flexors, and we're also going to do some stretching for the upper body in a minute. So just allow those knees to press out. And really focus on sitting tall and allowing the gravity to push the knees down. Bring the hands over the top and then just curve over. So again, I'm stretching my upper body at the same time and just trying to get my knees to press out. So I'm definitely getting looser each time. Coming back up, we're going to do 2 more. So it's almost like I'm lifting up and over my toes, rounding out my back, and I'm pressing through. So I'm leaning forward over that inner thigh. Back up, we're going to do 1 more. Up and over the top. And up. So we're going to take the legs out nice and wide now. So again, you guys all know this one in terms of our forward fold. So we're in a straddle position. My feet are nice and loose, and all I'm looking to do is just slide forward. But I'm going to try and slide my both hands together. So leaning forward, tucking my chin, and just looking to hold position. Be as long as you can. And come all the way back up again. So lift that chest up. So we're folding from the hip. I'm sat on my seat bones. I'm going to slide my hands through the middle. Through the middle, and see if I can go a bit further. And come all the way back up. We're going to do it 1 more time. So interestingly, this is my tighter side normally, but here I feel very tight. So just rearrange myself nice and tall, and we're going to slide again through the middle. Slide and press. Make sure you breathe in. And make sure your neck and your shoulders are nice and loose. and coming back up again. I'm just going to bring the legs slightly closer together so they're in a V position, but not quite as wide. So we're going to do our Pilates saw. So this is working on the hip flexibility and on the core. What we're going to do, we're going to go into a saw and then up into a front plank position. So I'm going to turn slightly to the side. Okay, so with the saw, we're looking to opposite arm across, and your little finger is sliding along the outside of your foot, okay? So holding the hands shoulder height, we turn and we're reaching over and we're looking back behind. So we're working on that torso, and then we're going to come back to the middle. Let's go across to the opposite side. Opposite side. So again, you're looking back over your shoulder and your little finger's going towards your little toe. Coming up and back and round, lifting the chest, okay? So we're going to lift and turn and press over the top. So some of you will be far more flexible. You'll have good flexibility through your torso. Come back through the middle. Make sure we're looking back and over the shoulder. And each time, coming back up, hands are shoulder height, just bring them down. So this time, we're going to go from a saw. From this position, we're going to reach over and we're going to lift up the core and we're going to go into a forward plank hold position, okay? So we did a similar one to this a couple of weeks ago, okay? So we'll see whether this works. So my hands are shoulder height. So from here, I'm going to turn and twist, reach past my foot, look at my shoulder. And from here, I'm going to bring my hand down and I'm going to lift my hip up and over the top. Just holding the position, working on that plank, and then slowly coming back down and into the middle. So I'm working on my shoulder from the support, but I'm working on my core. So I'm turning, holding the position, looking over my shoulder, my hand goes down, and then I'm pressing up and lifting my hip. Holding the position, working on the core, and bringing it down, and bring my hands up. We're going to do 2 more of these, so 1 on each side. So it works the supporting shoulder, works the core, and we're working the front of the thigh, okay? So your feet are in a V position, okay? So hands shoulder height, turning, reaching across, so reaching down to that toe, hand behind, drop, and then press the hip up and reach over the head. Hold that position, really press the hip up, bring it down, sweep it through, shoulder height. Change sides. So reach, look over your shoulder, hand goes down, and my hip presses up. Lower it down, and come back to the middle, okay? So something a little bit new there for today. Right, let's bring the knees in. I want you to bring your feet into what I call a high butterfly position, okay? So we're going to work on core and we're going to work on our seat bones, okay? So find that seat bone and sit up nice and tall. What I want us to work on is lifting the heels into a V position. So you're going to hold just by your ankles and you're going to lift your feet up, but looking to stay nice and tall. Just holding. Some people might know this as a rocker. It has various names. But what it looks to do is working on the core and then just lower down, okay? So you've got a slight tilt back. So again, in the bum, find those seat bones in the middle, okay? And then you're going to walk the feet in and then you're going to lift the heels off the ground, looking to keep the chest nice and tall. Now, we're going to add something different in this morning. We're going to add it into a one leg. So we're going to lift one leg out to the side, but we're going to keep the other leg off. So we're working on our hamstring, our inner thigh, and also our core. Then we're going to slowly bring it back down again. Now, some of you might get the leg forwards or you might be struggling to keep up, okay? I'm just trying to give you some new moves, something a little bit different so that we can keep progressing. And then we're going to take the other leg up and we're looking to hold. So both feet are off the ground and we're working on our flexibility and our strength. Bring it back together and then bring the feet down, okay? Now let's go into our bound ankle. So just see whether we can open out those hips a bit further. So mine are definitely getting looser. So just working on that strength and that flexibility. So we're going to do the one-legged rocker one more time, okay? So I'm going to walk my feet in and I'm going to lift them off. So I'm looking to keep my chest lifted, my neck nice and soft, okay? And so I'm looking to take my leg up. And I'm just going to try and straighten it and be as long as I can. So working on the core, working on my hamstring, sitting on my seat bones, okay? Drop it down nice and slowly. So looking to keep those feet up. Keep that core nice and tight, okay? Try not to arch the back. And then turning and lifting the other hand back to rock. Okay, press it up nice and high. Keeping that core nice and tight. And bring it back down again. And lower the heels down. Fantastic job, guys. So again, something a little bit different, something new. Right. Let's turn around and go onto all fours for me. So into our 4-point position, okay? So you can't see, but my core's pulled in nice and tight, my back is nice and flat. Okay, from here, we're gonna just go up into our cat position. So pulling all the way through, dropping the head, opening out the shoulders. Then pressing all the way through into cow. So just lifting my chin. Pressing my bum up and allowing my back to dip and arch. Okay, one more time, pulling up into cow. So really open out the vertebrae, drop that head. And all the way through. Lift. Back into that 4-point, just tuck the toes and we're just going to rock back onto the heel and then just come forward. So we're just going to wake up those ankles, just press and back. Do 2 more, press and 1 more. Okay, bring those toes back down again. So let's go into our thread the needle. So I'll turn a little bit towards you. Remember, we're not looking to try and get the head onto the ground, we're trying to get the front of the shoulder on. So we're just going to slide palm to ceiling, through, and we're just going to press that shoulder and just turn so that my head is facing my hand. Keep the bum nice and high, just opening out that shoulder. Keep the core nice and tight, and come back up again. So place my hand, palm to ceiling, through, keep my hips nice and high, and just turning my head towards my hands. It's hovering just above the ground. Working on those shoulders, opening them out. Okay, so we're going to go back to the first one, okay? So we're going to press it through. We're going to lift the other hand off. So you're going to press through, you're going to turn your head, and we're going to stretch the other hand out. So you're just increasing the stretch. So you'll feel this in the upper arm will be under your arm, and then the hand that you're reaching through, you should feel that into the back and into the shoulders. So really nice move. My arm, as you can see, my elbow's not fully straight, but I'm really getting a nice stretch. Bring it back in. Press up, change sides. So palm to ceiling, so let's thread it through. I'm turning my head, and then this upper one, I'm reaching out over the top. So it's almost like I'm crossing over. So I'm feeling it in under my arm, and then I'm feeling it into the shoulder on the lower arm. Just holding that position. And bring it back up again. So we're going to do 1 more where we open. We did this a few weeks ago where we turn and we open the hand out, okay? So we're going to palm to ceiling, press it through, hold that, and then we're going to lift the other one up. Just a small twist again. So make sure, try and keep that hand nice and straight, and the weight is on my lower arm. Lower it down slowly and press it back up again. I like that move. So through and drop. So my shoulder's taking and I'm opening and looking at that hand. Keep my hips up. Bring that hand down, press it back up again so my shoulders are nice and loose. Turning to the side, so we're looking to keep the hips up. We're going to walk down to our elbows, and one of my favorites, into that puppy. So we're going to keep the bum nice and high. My hips are over my knees, and I'm going to press out, rounding out the back, forehead to mat, and just stretching out through the shoulder blades. Forehead onto the mat, just make sure you've got room to breathe. You feel this in the shoulder blades, under the arms. Just slide the elbows back in, and then we're just going to sit back on to our knees. Excellent job. Okay, so we're going to finish off, just going to do a little bit of plank. I want you to be really deliberate with the move, okay? So this isn't about how long we can hold the plank for, it's just about making sure that we set the move up correctly, okay? So, we're going to go into our 4-point position, okay? I just want to go over bear crawl with you. So, bear crawl is where we tuck our toes under. We keep the back nice and flat, and then all we look to do is we look to bring the knees up so that our back and our shoulders and our bum are in a nice line. And you look to just hold that position there. You need to lock the core, but your neck stays nice and loose, okay? And you're essentially hovering. Your knees are hovering above the ground. So the bear crawl position, it's a really important one. We're going to use it more and more as the weeks go on. Really, really good for your front of thigh, your quad strength, okay? And then we just lower those knees back down again and allow the feet, okay? So lots of the moves we do is bear crawl into something, okay? Or we do what I call a walkout plank. So we're looking here, I'm just going to move forward on my mat so I've got room. What I'm looking to do is press one of my feet out so I'm on the ball of my foot. And then I press out the other one, and I'm looking not to get into this position, I'm looking to keep my bum high, but not all the way up here. So just into that strong plank position, okay? Looking to keep my core tight and just holding the position. Now, when you're up there, you can alter your feet, but what you're looking to do is make sure that you're holding the plank. So think about where your shoulders are, your wrists are, and just holding that position. When we come out of it, we tend to do knee and knee, or if not, we'll sink fully to the ground. Now, if we're going to go into a side plank, I want us to think about our feet. Normally at the moment, we'll have one foot in front of the other. So you'll have one foot at the front and the other foot will be tucked in behind it. So you'll have a nice support and you're looking to make sure that your hip is off the ground. So let's go into our full plank. So walk out one foot, walk out the other, and you're holding that. Now, here, that back foot turns and that front foot goes over. And we look to turn and open the chest. So if you see, my hip doesn't fall. It's a nice straight line. I've got baggy t-shirt on, which doesn't help. And then we look to take that arm up and over the top. And we're just looking to hold that position. And then we bring the hand down and we turn our hips back so that we can still stay in that plank position. So if we go feet to the side, open up and keep that hip up. Bring the hand down and just lower the knees and just reset. Now we're going to turn to the other side just so that you can feel, because one side will be stronger than the other. So press the foot up and up. So I'm going to drop my back foot and I'm going to turn. My hip comes up and my hand goes over the top. Now this is my stronger side. I have a stronger arm on this side. and my waist is stronger too. Hold that position, turn it round, back into that plank position, lower the knees, and sit back, okay? So on Friday, we're going to work a little bit more on plank, okay? So just stretching out, we're going to finish off with a seated cat-cow. So interlink the fingers behind the head, and we're just going to round out the back. Bring that chest in, and then open out the shoulders. And again, bring that chest in. Open out the shoulders, lift. One more. And open, bring the hands down to the side. Reach up, palm facing in, leaning over to the side. Don't drop the hand. Keep it long, so we're stretching all the way from the hip to the fingertips. Press away. Hand up, palm facing in, leaning over to the side. Press away. Bring both the hands up. Take a nice deep breath in, palms facing inwards. Hands to heart. We are done for this morning, guys. Well done. And I will see you tonight at 5 for our HIIT workout, okay?